Sup Shredders, my name is Logan, aka Spiderhands, and welcome to an SBReacts, where today we've got ourselves a musical film titled Shadow of the Light from Acaraki Journey, as well as Batavia Pictures. And if we switch over to here, we've got ourselves a video on the screen, this short film. It's got a musical composition, which was done by Alan Hendrijanto, if I'm not mistaken. Hopefully I'm not mispronouncing that. It's going to be good to check it out. We're going to listen and watch it from start till finish, and we're going to hear what we think. Let's go, let's do it. What have we got? Let's do it. What have we got? Shadow of the Light. Great use of Foley at the start with the birds. Mesmerizing strings and keys.
Story is once told again. Chapters one by one, starting slowly to unfold. Playing with lights as the shadows run around and dance. See the gleaming eyes as my history is told.
It's great to see people enjoying themselves.
And step by step, lost inside a wondrous trance, falling in deeper, like first loves from Mars, and fleeting sounds, breathing life with every place. A wistful song, I so long for your
I like these unexpected parallel chords.
A shadow of the light, I dance all through the night, against the odds and challenges of time, keeping the dark at bay, as time washes away, the faded colors brightly beaming, while I remain unchanged, here on an empty stage, my moves still echo wide and loud and clear, the shadow of the light, come dance with me tonight, forever.
Oh. I like the use of different languages here.
Lines of time slowly passes by across your face, hiding well away all the memories from before. Heart laying bare, waiting silently in solemn grace, till the day arrives when you notice me once more. Step by step, lost inside a wondrous trance, falling in deeper, like first loves from Mars, and fleeting sounds, breathing life with every pace. A wistful song, as I long for your embrace. A shadow of the light, I dance all through the night, against the odds and challenges of time, keeping the dark at bay, as time washes away, the faded colors brightly beaming, while I remain unchanged, here on an empty stage, my moves still echo wildly loud and clear. A shadow of the light, come dance with against the odds and challenges of time, keeping the dark at bay as time washes away the faded colors brightly beam and rain. While I remain unchanged here on an empty stage, my moves still echo widely, loud and clear. A shadow of the light, come dance with me tonight, forever.
A great performance is one that inspires. Tremendous. Now, I apologize if that's Acaraki or Acaraki. I'm not sure. Hopefully, I've not offended anyone when mispronouncing it. I'll take full responsibility for that. Beautiful film, though. Apparently, it won the Best Music Video Award at the International Thai Film Festival 2024, which is one of several international accolades it's received. And I can understand why that is. It's a beautiful audio-visual experience there. You don't need the song to really tell you what's happening. You can just watch, the image alone. You can watch the video alone. But I think the emotional weight of a lot of what is going on within it, as well as the dynamic range of the music itself, can combine with the instrumental choices, the chord progressions, melodies, and how they interact, as well as the traditional Javanese language that is used in some of those parts, preserving cultural heritage, etc. That kind of helps to sell it as well. But we're going to talk about this track and video more in the conclusion. Because welcome to the conclusion in my review of this music within this video, Shadow of the Light from Acaraki or Acaraki Journey, as well as Batavia Pictures. Again, Shadow of the Light musical composition by Elwin Herijanto. In this section, I'm going to provide an overall song analysis, as I'm not that sort of familiar with how to make a movie, so to speak. I'm not that familiar with the film side of it, but lyrics and vocals all the way through to studio production, as well as any applicable constructive critique, and then finally my general thoughts from a listener's perspective. But before we go any further, what do we think this track is about? I think, put plainly, it is about someone who is making these puppets, these shadow puppets, and they are in a position where they are performing something they feel is very important. They've got a lot of the older people in the audience there, and those older people are there to watch the show, and it's very important to the person doing the puppetry who's made them and everything like that. And then the son with their robot, the modern figure, the modern thing, is fighting against the old one. They go like this, and then what happens is the father is afraid of the son breaking something they've put their life into, so they need to step away from it. This is just what I got from actually listening to and watching it. And then, of course, what happens is later on, the son has a daughter, and then the granddaughter tries to pick up the puppets, but then the son says, no, you can't do that because they're too important to the grandfather. And what happens is eventually the grandfather is alone with the puppets, and then, you've seen this, but effectively it's about someone who prioritizes something and almost in neglect of their family, those people most important to them, until they're at their most vulnerable, when the daughter does try to cheer the grandfather up by playing with the puppets, but then breaks it, and you assume again that the grandfather might not have learnt, but they did learn. And at the end, you see that difference in the way of approaching things, not forcing the son to try and adhere to the code that they had, but allowing the grandchild to play with them and to explore, therefore leads to the daughter eventually honoring her grandfather by doing the puppet show with the new technology, with like the VR gloves and everything like that, creating an experience for a younger audience that is there. It's such a well-told story. When we talk about step-by-step lost inside a wondrous trance, I'm not necessarily sure if this is more in relation to the puppets themselves, the story that that's telling, as opposed to the video itself. We have, again, Javanese dialect living in this world is full of challenges there, like when the son is about to play with the different robots. And we talk about cultural heritage. We never back down in preserving our cultural heritage. And then, of course, when the granddaughter is performing the show, the Sinden traditional Javanese singer and the ensemble are going to start the performance. You've got them hearkening in a new era there of the culture, a bit evolving, but nonetheless the core ideal and concept being preserved to just, be a part of a new audience, I suppose. It's basically simultaneously about respecting what has come before whilst presenting it in a way which is going to be accessible to people, I think what sells this track so well is that the story is so coherent and it's just an incredible vocal performance across the board. The lady that is the main singer throughout this, exclusive any background vocals or harmonies that we have as we go through it, singing like extension, kind of like held notes and unison ones and harmonizing further in our upper and like lower and hidden chest voice. It's just so wonderfully cinematic with what they're trying to accomplish here. There is a tremendous dynamic range. It's well controlled. You've got this fantastic portamento legato affectation on some of the takes there, and we navigate quite complex harmonies with ease. We have this wonderful vibrato at times there, and we sing in a way which I think is respectful of the style of music that we're doing, as well as respectful of the subject matter, and also just showcases their best talents. But it's quite a measured performance at the same time in regard to you can understand and connect the feelings to what we're going throughout. It never tries to become bigger than the music. It's like we're allowing the music behind us to swell and tell as much of the story as we need to. The words come through clearly. I appreciate that there's a mixture of English parts as well as sung Javanese parts, and you have like different sort of like vocal take for the Javanese dialect, and I like that. I think it's nice to have overarching parts there, the mixture of the English with the Javanese there to combine different cultures. Just makes it a bit more accessible. And so yeah, honestly, tremendous. Fantastic vocal performance. I think emotionally sells it with a sincere expression. And we're off to a great start when we got those parts combined. And it's just literally the rest of the track at 6.5 minutes that pops off really wonderfully. You have these strings, for example, in this through composed piece that navigate like a relatively predictable yet nonetheless slightly unconventional like chord progression and journey there. It fluctuates. It goes up and down with majors and minors and some parallel unexpected sort of twists and turns that loop back and iterate off of motifs. And it's more the life, how vivacious the strings are. When they're there, they're really there to sell the raw feeling of it, to kind of get you invested in it. But I just love how lush they sound and how smooth they are a lot of the time. And like the fact that they don't just play whole notes either, that they go with eighths or sixteenths as well occasionally, depending on what's required there. The keys that we have as well are another fantastic accompaniment in the sense that they navigate their triads and arpeggios neatly. They have a bit of personnel in the right hand and reinforce the root notes on the bass on the left. But they also, they play chromaticisms when they need to, and they harken into new elements or lead neatly with some melodies that are just great sort of transitional parts. And it's nice to have almost like sort of alt leads or sub leads there occasionally, just to sort of add a bit more sort of like nuance to some, especially some of those like combined vocal parts. I think the use of the bells as well, such as around the 3:30 mark, are kind of nice there as we start to build and staircase the piece there. Some more sort of traditional elements are included there, some shimmers, just for a nice sort of bit of like melodic percussion and glow to it. When we have the 4:20 mark, where you have the daughter like coming to terms with the fact she might have broken the toy and the grandfather deciding what to do, you have these orchestral drum swells and crescendos there. You have the full band behind them at that point. And of course, it's not going to be a whole drum kit, that wouldn't make sense, but it's more just the drama and tension and the build of that is palpable. It's such a wonderfully lush performance there, where you've got existing textures such as the keys and the strings there, with a key change potentially or two in the mix. And then you've just got that further bit of oomph from the low end with the drums kind of propelling it forward. And you've got this string kind of stunted like bows there as well for a bit more kind of urgency behind it as we kind of build and go on a fortissimo, with some occasional kind of like little bell and glissandos there as well in the background as we come down. It's just nice to have dynamic range across this entire performance though, for things not to be the same, the intensity the entire time, despite the fact that the story is clearly growing as it progresses. I think thematically, what sells this for me so well with the orchestral backing, the story and the vocal performances across the board, is the fact that we work in some extensions in there for emotional nuance, as well as some unpredictable parallel majors or minors there. Some real kind of twists and turns and points of drama in there that elevate, but not in the way that seems obtuse or kind of forced. The extensions offer emotional nuance, but we also have some more accessible major and minor triads there that just almost make it sound kind of poppy and catchy, in a weird kind of way. But yeah, honestly, there's a fantastic blend of different orchestral as well as some jazzy components there. There's just a wonderful variety of influences there that show maturity and sophistication on behalf of the composer and everyone else involved, the performers included. Just a really wonderful performance across the board. And the studio recording, mixing and mastering is just the icing on the cake there. It's commercial grade. You can hear the vocal takes clearly where the remains of the sides, the bells, the keys, the drums, the piano, the strings, everything is well presented in the stereo field, nice and wide in the headphones, and well presented within. There's no resonant frequencies, it's very well leveled as well. Like, there's phenomenal dynamic range from a composition and production perspective, and it's nice and loud. Bus compression limiting is handled. No applicable constructive critique for me. From a final general listener's perspective, this is just a wonderful story to listen through, and also a wonderful film to watch. I understand why it has been awarded the way it has. I wish him involved all the best of luck in future, and I hope there are many more stories to come. Because thank you for watching my review of this music film, this video, Shadow of the Light from Acaraki Journey, as well as Batavia Pictures, with again the musical composition by Elwin Hendrijanto, titled Shadow of the Light. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please do go show them some love via the various social medias and YouTube page, and stay cool and stay safe, and please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time. It's need to help more than ever with the crazy stuff going on in the world, and I will catch you in the next SP Reacts. Spiderhands out.